Sure. So the Oath Keepers were founded back in 2009. It was about a year after Barack Obama was president. And this was a lot of reaction that came from the far right at this time that sort of built up around this patriot movement, the Tea Party movement, things of this nature. And so Rhodes founded the Oath Keepers in 2009 and actually launched it on April 19th, and he did it in Lexington, Massachusetts, where the first shot in the American Revolution was fired. And his whole argument was, we should have this group of law enforcement, ex-law enforcement, military folks, veterans, people who are of this part of our country come together and make sure that the laws of the Constitution are being upheld. And where they are not, we essentially go in and uphold them. And that's a very, that's the operative word, uphold,
Wow.
How it's defined. And over the years, the long and short of it with this organization is, they've been involved in a lot of situations where you have folks who think that state laws trump federal laws and that federal laws don't have to be respected, like what we had with the Bundy Ranch a few years back with Ammon Bundy. Rhodes was involved with that. These are folks who showed up during the racial justice protests, after Breonna Taylor was killed, after George Floyd was killed, after Michael Ferguson was killed, or Michael Brown, in Ferguson was killed. They show up to protect, quote unquote, businesses and to assess whatever they think needs to be enforced in terms of law enforcement. So what we're talking about is folks who support the idea of paramilitaries. They support the ideas of militias. And so this was a key issue at this trial because it was really about, can the jury be convinced that their defense is viable? That these are just people who thought that the Constitution was violated because Trump was not properly reelected, that the COVID-19 protocols were unfair, unconstitutional, and therefore they had the right to say that the election was fraudulent. We can get into the details later, but the Oath Keepers themselves are a far-right organization that believe in a lot of conspiracy theory, and they believe in the Second Amendment very much, and I think that sort of trumps everything else in their worldview for a lot, and we heard a lot about that at the trial too.